And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Nation Network presents Open Mic Night with your host, Vince McSham.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Nation Network. Vince McSham with you here. I apologize I didn't get the title changed in time on the video, but it'll be up there for anyone watching it after the live broadcast. This is actually Open Mic Night, not the Survivor Series Showdown. That was yesterday. Just forgot to update the title. My apologies. It's okay, we're still going to have fun. Open Mic Night is one of my favorites because this is where we get to do some direct interaction and chat back and forth. And today we're going to be talking about Survivor Series. One of the original four cornerstone pay-per-views of the WWF/WWE. And last night, it happened again. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about shit. So if you don't want to know the outcome of certain matches, maybe watch it later. Because we're going to be talking about them. And the good, the bad, and the ugly. Not a whole lot of good, if I'm being honest. Shockwave, not impressed. All right, well, man, there's so much to talk about when it comes to last night's event. What's going on here? Having some technical difficulties. There we go. Got it worked out. What's up, Shockwave? All right, well, here are the polls, and this is going back a couple hours ago. I'm sure it's not much different now, but which was your favorite match last night on the WWE Twitter account? Surprise! Not really. The one that went over big was Flair and Rousey, the ladies again stealing the night, and that was a match with a shit ending. Yeah, Nia Jax, we're going to talk about that stupid bitch in a minute. Was there another War Games? What was that for NXT? I haven't seen NXT yet, so I'm going to have to get around to that part. The Flair-Rousey match was great all the way up to the ending, at which time it took a wicked left-hand turn and just ruined what was a great match. Yeah, I have to admit, I fast-forwarded through the majority of the 5-on-5s because nothing was working for me. I thought the women's match was okay, even though that apparently got the shittiest number of the night. The men's I just didn't care at all about. Very hard to watch it. And, yeah, I totally should have realized there was an NXT on Saturday. It totally slipped my mind, and I haven't watched the product in a while, so I'm out of that loop. But I will watch it later because I've always been impressed with the NXT TakeOver shows, and they're always pretty good. So I guess they did another War Games. I don't know why. The last one really sucked. Maybe they're going to keep trying it till they get it right. I don't know. The Lesnar-Daniel Bryan match. Yeah. What are you going to say about that match? I don't know what to say about that match. It really sucked for a while. I mean, it was just that one-sided beatdown, which who doesn't want to see that, right? And then it evolved from there to, a couple kicks here, a couple kicks there. I like the low blow to make it real. Because, I mean, how else could Daniel Bryan possibly fight Brock Lesnar if he doesn't kick him in the dick? Brock Lesnar ate more in weight for breakfast than Daniel Bryan weighs. What's Daniel weighing at? About $190 now, if he's lucky? Lesnar has hamburgers that weigh more than that. So, yeah, kicking him in the balls, or that's the way that they can even things up a little bit, and then a bunch of knee strikes to the head. Sure, why not? You made it believable. I'll tell you, when he put him in the yes lock, that looked so good, and then he kind of broke out of it, and that was terrible. The original breakout was just pathetic. It's like he didn't even pry his hands apart. He just put his hands up there. I did not see the pre-show at all, so I don't know anything about the pre-show. What I do know, like I said, the Lesnar match with Daniel Bryan had some potential once they, made it competitive, and they did it the only way you really could have. But at the end of the day, still, oh my goodness. It's like watching a train wreck. It really is. No matter how much talent they have, they just keep on doing the same shit over and over again. So at the end of the day, yeah, Lesnar is your champion. Well, it was a non-title match anyway, but Lesnar walks out the victor. And I guess that makes sense. If the title's not on the line, then what's the purpose of having him drop a match? You want to keep him strong. And it would have been a hard sell for Daniel Bryan to go over Brock Lesnar. So they switch over to Brock Lesnar with the intent of, we want to give a match we haven't seen before. All right. But I don't know. It should have been better. It really. And again, I don't fault Daniel for that. And I was cringing on so much of this. I mean, the more he hit him with those suplexes, the more I was cringing. It's like, we've had enough injuries lately. I think we can just, try not to kill somebody for once. We saw the stuff that's happening lately, and of course that brings us up to the Nia Jax thing. By the way, I don't know if anyone else. I don't watch football anymore. I gave up on professional sports a long time ago, but I'm driving home and I hear this thing in the car about, if you haven't seen the injury to Alex Smith of the Washington Redskins, you don't want to watch it. It's gruesome, which is a nice way of telling people go watch it. Of course I did. And yeah, I'm watching this video and his leg breaks in all kinds of places. And the first thought in my mind was, is Nia Jax on the field? Because that kind of stuff seems to go right hand in hand with Nia Jax. GCW is up, man. Yeah, here's the problem they don't get. And this kind of goes back to Roman, and I don't want to, kick a dog while he's down. It's not heat if we simply don't like you. It's not your character that's got heat. The Miz has heat. He has so much heat that we like him now. Because his character was obnoxious and annoying, and we just didn't like his character. That I can recall, he's never hurt anyone in the ring, and he's never been injured other than that kayfabe piece of shit over in Saudi Arabia. But Nia, man, oh man, girl. Somebody got to call her aside, and there's all sorts of sayings right now that, she's got all kinds of heat in the locker room. I want to believe it's true because she's earned it. And there are a lot of people, especially guys that have been in the industry, whether, even if it's only local wrestling or whatever the case may be, have all said the same thing. I don't want anyone fired, but what? Send her back to development so she can hurt somebody on NXT? No. She is not a qualified wrestler. Period. Nor am I. Guess what I don't do? I don't get in a fucking ring. I don't put other people's lives in danger because I'm not qualified. Just because her bloodline has qualified people in it doesn't mean she is. And she has proven time and time and time and time and time again. She's not qualified. The list grows on. The day she almost killed Charlotte is when I said they're pulling the plug on her. There's no way they're going to... Who would get in the ring with her? And then they didn't. And then people got in the ring, and people kept getting hurt. Yeah, Shockwave. I mean, honestly, how can you argue the point at this point? There's a list of at least 5 names that she has caused injury to. A variety of injury to, and I don't think she does it intentionally. Well, I'm not, this last one's questionable. Because if it's not intentional, then you are the most ignorant bitch in the world. Because at this point, you're as close to a veteran as you're going to ever get. And if you don't know that when you're standing 12 inches away from somebody, you cannot throw a full-on right cross, then you belong somewhere else, but not in the ring. Or get in a UFC ring and see how that shit works for you there. Yeah, there's no... first of all, there isn't a title they have that will fit around her. So we'll start with that part. And I'm not trying to fat shame and all that stuff, but the bottom line is there is no upside to her. You know, Awesome Kong was a big girl, but gosh damn it, that lady could wrestle. She was a beast. Nia, man, she's just like, you know, she's a buffet beast, but she ain't a wrestling beast. Well, here's the thing, and Theo, yeah, I'm on the same page there. It's the same. Los Angeles last night made it clear, we don't like you, but they're thinking this is heat. They're like, okay, this works. You're over as a heel. She's a heel because she's really fucking hurting people. You're really going to keep her out there so she can do it more? I'm sorry. I wonder when the talent steps up and says, I'm not getting in the fucking ring with this lunatic. All I could think of last night was I was really hoping somebody was going to give her a receipt and accidentally catch her with a knee right in the bridge of the fucking nose and splash her face all around, because I think she needs it. I think the only way to tame that lion and get her to fucking get under control is for somebody to smash her face into the back of her head. Yeah, but Theo, again, it's not heat. Heat is when your character gets over and makes us dislike you. We don't like her because she's dangerous and she's not good at her craft and doesn't belong in the spot she has. There's a big difference. Let's put it this way. If it were a movie industry we're talking about, and you were to acting what Nia is to wrestling, you would have one movie and that would be it, because the box office would be less than $100,000. The problem is a lot of people want to see Brock and Daniel Bryan and to see Charlotte and Ronda, so they don't get the fact that she's not doing any good for the box office. And I'll tell you right now, if I'm Ronda Rousey, although she took an ass kicking anyway, but if I'm Ronda Rousey, I am not getting in the ring with this fucking amateur piece of shit. I mean, he's banding up. I let this girl cane the piss out of me. But there is no way I'm getting dropped on my fucking head when I'm a world-class athlete and she has no business stepping her fat ass in a ring. Nah, she has no mic skills whatsoever, Shock. You're right. There's no upside. There is zero upside to Nia Jax. She is a liability. I was going to say someone's going to get hurt. We got a list. Don't take my word for it. I'm just beyond words right now when it comes to this shit. Absolutely beyond words. All right, well, we got to talk about the other fuck up in the house last night. My name is Enzo Amore, and you can't teach that. You dumb motherfucker. For a guy who keeps saying, I don't want to go back to wrestling, I got no reason to go back to wrestling, then why the fuck would you pull such a stunt, you desperate bitch? Yeah, I know he got some fucking shit rap song out that 10 people are going to buy. But my God, what a dumb son of a bitch. What a dumb, fucking, stupid-ass son of a bitch. First off, any chance, and he really didn't have one, but any chance of ever getting back in the WWE is so gone right now. Yeah, Sean, you're right about that as well. They do tend to move people up way too quickly, way too soon. Yeah, he got banned from the Staples Center. Did not get arrested, although LAPD was out there to greet him. Didn't do anything illegal. He did buy a ticket for second row, which I'm surprised he has the money for that at this point. It was so fucking stupid. I mean... And there people thought it was a work. It's not a work. It was a shoot. It was Enzo being Enzo. And this is the reason why he has no fucking wrestling career anymore, never will. You know, he just doesn't get it. He really has no fucking idea. He thinks he's that over. He's not over. He's an ass. There were 10 people that thought he was cool last night. Same 10 that are going to buy his fucking record. But it was appropriate that he picked last night because it was a shit show. It really was a shit show last night. I don't, man. It's one of your biggest pay-per-views. I just don't get how you don't get it right. We don't claim his ass in Jersey. All right, Lewis, we won't hold it against you. Well, Sean, that's the sad thing. I was going to say he does have the ability, but then he just kills himself with stupid. But the reality is his in-ring work sucked. He hurt. Here's the good thing. He only injured himself over and over again. But he was good on a microphone, giving the devil his due. And that's 80% of the business. If you can get over on a mic, you can get away with not being a great wrestler. We'll dumb down your moveset. You know, we'll do a whole bunch of, Jesse the Body shit where you spend half the time outside the ring and just playing psychological bullshit. We'll teach you 5 moves, and that'll be it. Yeah, Enzo is his own worst enemy. No two ways about it. Now, I'm real curious, jumping back and forth here with Nia Jax. So after she breaks Becky's face, they don't want to say it's a nose for some reason, I'm not sure. And I think might even be the orbital bone based on the location. Then Nia puts out the Twitter or the tweet with the broken hand or the messed up hand, and hey, and nobody's asking me about my hand. And I'm thinking to myself, I hope the WWE put her up to that, figuring, okay, we're going to try and make lemonade out of lemons. If she did that shit on her own, going into business for herself that way, then I have even less respect for her, and there's not a whole lot left at this point in time. And Shock, honestly, Enzo's only talent is the microphone. That's it. It's where it starts and stops. The minute the bell rings, it's all gone. There's no talent there. When you look back at the injuries he sustained that are all self-inflicted, they're god-awful. It's like, what the fuck? How can you be in a professional ring and be the... First it was NXT with the leg. Then he did that freaking pay-per-view header that I thought he died on. And then I think he had one on either Raw or SmackDown, which I forget off the top of my head, where I think he slid wrong and caught the rope or something. It was, the guy just, man, it's like a freaking 14-year-old just running around stupid. Yeah, I've got to believe WWE put her up to post in that tweet. And if not, damn. How does she still have a job then? All right, well, I don't know about anybody else. I mean, there really, other than 2 matches last night, and that was kind of what I was expecting going into it, that there were only going to be 2 matches I gave a shit about. I tried sitting through some of the early stuff. I just couldn't. And I was so disappointed in the Ronda match because it was going great. Yeah, Theo, that's about as appropriate a quote for him as there possibly could be. I got news for you. If I'm Becky Lynch, I'm not getting in the ring with that fucking bitch again. She's crazy, and she's stupid, and she's reckless, and I'm not going to get hurt again and put on the shelf for another 60 days or longer. You've already got Alexa Bliss out. You've already got Paige out. You've already got now Becky Lynch out. Why? All because of reckless bullshit. And I hold Sasha Banks much higher accountable than I do Nia Jax. Nia Jax has no business being where she is, so I blame the people that put her there. Sasha Banks, one of the most talented bitches in business, and didn't know how to protect Paige. I'll be honest, I didn't watch Rollins and Nakamura because if there's no title involved, then why do I give a shit? Oh, there. Yeah. How did I forget the real subject matter here? Final score, 6-0. What the fuck is that? What is the logic in burying your other show? What is the possible logic in burying SmackDown, which from all accounts, I don't watch either one of them anymore, they're so bad. But from all accounts, SmackDown is a superior show. That ain't saying much. Yeah, Josh. I don't know how I feel about the last-minute title change with Daniel Bryan. My problem is what he did. Turning him heel, again, we talk about the fucked-up decisions WWE's making right now. That's got to be at the top of the list. Nobody in that crowd wants to boo Daniel Bryan. Are you fucking crazy? What are you thinking? He is adored by the fans. He takes the concussion, misses 2 years of his career, told he's never going to wrestle again, and comes back, and you want him to be a heel? How exactly do you think that works? Has SmackDown already officially gone to Fox? Has that already started? Theo, where did we hear that was Daniel Bryan's idea? And even if it was, somebody smarter than him up the ladder has to say, sorry, no. I mean, is there anybody in this chat room right now buying Daniel Bryan as a heel? Anybody out there that's watching the match going, you suck, you son of a bitch, what you did to AJ? But yeah, it isn't going to work. Next year they go to Fox. All right, well, yeah, I don't think Fox gives a rat's ass, to be honest with you, because it ain't their program yet. And as long as they're getting ratings, they don't give a shit who wins in a make-believe world. Yeah, you know, the only good heel turn that they have done in a very long time is Dean Ambrose, and that was based on, and I knew when they did it, the logic, and I was really just back and forth in my own mind as to whether I thought it was the right move. But having him turn like an hour after hearing the news about the leukemia with Roman and that he had to step away from wrestling and all that, and they had just been together as a Shield, and then all of a sudden he turns on Seth Rollins, and it's like, it's kind of Nia Jax in a way, in the sense that we get the heel turns, not really you turning on Seth, but the timing of the doing it is what we really hated the most. Like, there was like a real moment here about a guy who's now fighting for his life, and you just turned that around, and it's like we should have had an episode to just reflect on that, and then next week do your heel turn if you have to. But it was almost like pissing on the news kind of thing. So, yeah, I get it. And it definitely got him some real heat that way. But at the end of the day, look, the curtain's been pulled back a long time ago. We all get they're playing roles so that they're not legitimately heels and all that. Nia's got heat because she's fucking reckless. But I thought the shutout was just another. I thought they were going to go shutout up until the main event, and then that Daniel was going to find a way to win the fucking match and shock everybody. So I was surprised that went down the way it did. And for some reason, I was thinking the title would be on the line so they could get it the fuck off of Brock Lesnar. By the way, Brock, we'll see you in March. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly, at the end of the day, do I even give a shit? And the answer comes back to no. So, Ambrose and all that. And then the rumor is that the main event at Mania is supposed to be Ambrose against Seth for the world title. I can't think of a main event I would care less about. Neither of those guys, I'll tell you what, Dean Ambrose had all the potential in the world back in FCW. And right when it turned into NXT, he was still on the roster at that moment until then he switched up to the main roster. And he was doing the program with William Regal. It was a great program. He had some amazing interviews and promo spots and some like backstage shit that went down. And they didn't do anything with that in the main roster whatsoever. It didn't let that character exist that way. Didn't let him come off the way he does. And if you get a chance to go back and look at, there was one, I think it might have been the very last episode of FCW. Definitely in the last 2 or 3. And something goes on backstage somehow. I don't think he was wrestling Regal that night. I think it was like a week or 2 after he lost the go-home match with Regal. So he loses to Regal, that's it. Regal wins the war. And then something goes on backstage where Regal's involved in it. And I think he might have even been in his suit for that. And Ambrose goes off on a story about his sister. I can't remember the details of it. I just remember it was good. And it was well delivered, and it felt real. And it was really, whatever the hell it was. And if anyone finds that video, let me know, because I've been kind of looking for it here and there and once in a while, and I have yet to locate it online. But it was really good. And it was powerful shit. And he doesn't do nothing like that. The same way Bray Wyatt's character was really good in NXT and FCW. It was started in FCW in its last weeks. And then they watered it down as usual. Oh, I forgot all about Dean's feud with Cactus, yeah. But I think that had something to do with Cactus being able to. But yeah, but even then, if you go back and find that little thing, like Cactus was doing an autograph signing or some shit like that, and Ambrose just kind of comes up to him, gets in his face, and you're not sure if it's a work or a shoot. But it was done well. You know, he cites how his friends got hurt trying to mimic the ECW kind of hardcore style, and, you know, just, it was a pretty good thing. It was a good promo where you could believe it. It had the edge of reality to it, which wrestling is so missing right now. Good morning, Prime Time. Thank you for joining us. Once again, I apologize for the title. I forgot to correct that before I went live to stream, but it has been corrected, so it'll pop up accurately after we go off. This is Open Mic Night. It is not the Survivor Series Showdown. It's more of a Survivor Series recap. Well, you know what? I get the no blood thing. I mean, I got to get trained every year in bloodborne pathogen stuff just because you never know what you're going to run into where I'm at. And Hep C is a real deal, man. You don't want to fuck with that. Ask anyone who wrestled Abdullah in the last 25 years. Now, I'm of the opinion if they get tested before the match and they don't have Hep C, then maybe it's okay. But I don't know. Hey, you know what? They got to do what they got to do. Business has changed. Well, all right, so let's talk about the Becky Lynch aspect of things. The only positive that's come from this is Mania was always about the horsewomen versus the horsewomen. Well, that's now set in stone. I mean, Becky has now buried the hatchet with Charlotte by giving her the opportunity. They hug it out in the ring. She tells her, you're the only person that could possibly stand up to this bitch. And then what did Charlotte do? She caned the ever-living shit out of Ronda Rousey. Well, do you think Shayna Baszler and company are not going to come to her aid next week? And now you're going to have, and then you've got Sasha and Bayley now being ostracized by these other ladies on the roster. I am telling you right now, it's all coming together where Mania, and this could be a good main event. The 4 horsewomen versus the 4 horsewomen. I'd put that main event in Mania long before Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Prime time, we were talking about that a little earlier. I think it was the dumbest thing in the world. It's only a heel turn if people accept it as such and they boo the guy. Nobody was booing Daniel Bryan. Hell, they were still trying to do the damn yes chant, but couldn't get it going because he wasn't doing it. Somebody else mentioned Bob Orton recently, Jim. I never heard that story about Bob Orton having Hep C. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. I just never heard that until like a week or two ago. And Becky's just got more talent than she knows what to do with. I mean, first off, she's so good looking. Gorgeous girl. The Irish accent is adorable. She got the fiery red hair thing going on. And damn, she can wrestle. I mean, she is good. So, yeah, she is the total package. And the women's division is like that. There's a lot of really legitimate talent in the women's division. And when they wrestle, and I think I heard Jim Cornette at one point in time make this comment, it looks like a fucking wrestling match. Because they struggle to apply holds. They don't dance with each other. The guys, it is just all choreography. You know, especially with the high flyers. Yep, we taught that too, prime time. Enzo being Enzo. Yeah, I'm going to be very curious to see how they bring Bayley and Sasha on board for the 4 horsewomen thing, but it's going to happen. And that has the potential, and I hope it's not a one-off. I hope they really do a good job with that and let it run for a while. I'd like to actually see the 2 factions run for a good year, you know, as the horsewomen. You could have one on each show. And have them pull. I mean, it's really getting to the point now where the women are the only thing that's watchable on the programs. And that's not to say the guys suck or anything. I mean, the women are just that fucking good. But their style of wrestling is also much more entertaining. It's much easier to watch because it feels like there's a competition happening. It feels like they're fighting to make things happen. It's not just a lay down and a gimme. And it's not that choreography and the dancing and the, you know, hey, I'm going to hit this spot and make sure you do. Everything looks like they're fighting to make it happen. What a novel idea. Why do you think the friggin' match last night that stole the show was the one that did? Once again, the numbers don't lie, folks, and that was about 4 or 5 hours ago. Flair Rousey, 63% favorite match of the night. So they keep on doing that kind of stuff, and they have been doing that they keep on doing that stuff, though, then I won't be shocked to see them give them the main event they deserve at WrestleMania. When theirs is the match that people keep talking about at the end of the night, why do you keep forcing a round peg in a square hole? Hey, yeah, that's it, man. WWE, baby. Women's wrestling entertainment. And I'm watching that match with Charlotte last night and thinking to myself, yeah, the ladies at Glow watching this right now are going, fuck, huh? We didn't have to do that shit. Yeah, I definitely see the MMA horsewomen having to pay back Charlotte for what she did, and then maybe Bayley and Sasha come running to the aid, and or Becky. If I don't know how Becky's going to be down. How long I have not heard yet. Based on the injury, I've got to believe 60 days. And I do agree, the women right now are just, and they have been for a while. I'll tell you what, since Bayley and Sasha at TakeOver 2, the women have been on fire. But, yeah, man, they've absolutely got to get the belt off of Brock. Brock is a kiss of death right now. Having that title defended once every 30 to 50 days, it's just over. Well, the product has really been just hammered at this point, Jim. There's not a whole lot left. And the funny thing is, you look at last night, and the women's 5-man match I didn't think was bad. Charlotte and Ronda was great. And then you give them a whole pay-per-view to themselves, and it's kind of a botch mania. That part was frustrating to me, man. I thought when they got that that pay-per-view on their own that they were really going to raise the level, and we're going to maybe get 2 of the Bayley-Sasha Banks level matches. We didn't get 1. Forget the attitude era, buddy. That ain't happening. There's no reason for it to happen. He doesn't have to worry about ratings. He has no competition. The only reason that happened was because he was done. And he said, well, fuck it. We got nothing to lose. We're going out of business next week. When is the UFC fight? And no, prime time. I haven't watched any of the NXT show yet. I'm going to do that actually probably right after I wrap up the stream. Austin, we talked earlier. I was not a fan of the Seth Rollins-Shinsuke match. Not the one that they had per se, but the fact they were having it. It's a non-title match, champion versus champion. I fast-forwarded through almost all the match. Just maybe the last minute to see how it ended is all I really watched, so I can't rate the match based on what happened because I didn't care enough to watch it. And that kind of goes back to really think about it. I mean, Charlotte wasn't fighting for a title. Ronda wasn't putting a title up. But I fucking wanted to see that match, and it kept me wanting to watch it. Because whether the title's up or not, it's Ronda fucking Rousey. And I want to see what she's going to do, how her game's improved, and I want to see if someone's going to beat her in a non-title match. If you're going to make her lose, that's the best way to do it. Whereas I don't give a rat's ass about Seth Rollins, and I don't care about Shinsuke Nakamura. They're mid-carders. Well, I'm going to look forward to watching the War Games then, because the last time out, the War Games sucked. So I'm hoping that means they got it right this time. Animals, what's up, baby? We just talking some Survivor Series here. Well, speaking of Survivor Series, we're going to have our Survivor Series right here on the Nation Network tonight, right around midnight. That'll be the kickoff show, which will be over on the Twitch channel. You guys are probably familiar with that. If not, there should be a link in the description box down below. And you can go visit the Twitch channel at midnight, and that'll be the kickoff show. We'll have a title match. Owen Hart will be challenging Tatanka for the American Heritage title. And who knows what could happen at a kickoff show. Then we'll be heading back over here to YouTube for the Survivor Series featuring the World Wrestling Federation superstars. The lineup tonight will feature Strikeforce teaming up with the Legion of Doom, going up against Demolition and the Hart Foundation. The Rockers will team up with the Young Stallions to take on King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant, and two other mystery tag team partners of the Bobby Heenan family. Brutus the Barber Beefcake will captain a team with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Bam Bam Bigelow, and the British Bulldog, and they will take on the Big Boss Man, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Jerry Lawler, and Papa Shango. And our feature event of the evening, the Ultimate Warriors, featuring Dusty Rhodes, the Macho Man Randy Savage, and returning to the WWF Hulk Hogan. They'll take on the $1 Million team of Ted DiBiase, Jake the Snake Roberts, The Undertaker, and Mr. Perfect. All that kicks off at midnight over on Twitch. So do join us here for some of that action tonight. And then 24 hours after that, it is Starrcade, the granddaddy of them all. The WCW Ricky the Dragon Steamboat will be putting that title on the line. The WCW World Heavyweight title against the Nature Boy Ric Flair. One last time inside a steel cage. Favorite Survivor Series team all time. I think it would have been the second Survivor Series with the Ultimate Warrior. Hey, you can see a surprise anywhere on this channel. You never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen. That's why it's called a surprise. All right, ladies and germs. We ain't got to go home, but we got to get up out of here. I hope you will be able to join us live tonight for all the action. If not, catch the replay. Remember to click the like button down below. And if you're not already a subscriber, what the hell are you waiting for? Subscribe. Yeah, that might have been one of my favorite teams right there, too, because that was all people I liked a lot. Well, here's the thing. Everybody thinks they know who the Heenan family members are. There's a whole, right now, roster of Heenan family members that I haven't even started using much of. I mean, I think Yoko and Bundy did one match, and I haven't had a chance to use them yet. And then you got Andre. I accidentally used Rude the other day when he's supposed to be on WCW, so that was a oops. Force a habit. And there's a few other names that I still haven't brought out yet. So, you never know. Like I said, I download stuff all the time. I create stuff that I don't necessarily show you guys so that there are surprise factors. But we shall see. And like I said, 24 hours later, it'll be Starrcade. All right, folks. You guys have a wonderful rest of the day. I'm going to go watch me some NXT and see what all happened and what I missed. And hopefully it'll be as good as people have been making me believe it has been, which would be a nice change after last night. All right, you guys take care. I'll see you tonight at midnight. Remember, the kickoff is going to take place on Twitch. Right after that, we'll be coming live right here on YouTube. I'll see you later. This is Vince McSham saying so long from ringside.